The restaurant was packed with chatter, laughter, and the sizzling sound of fries dropping into oil, but for Emma, every sound felt like it was pressing down on her chest. It was her first day working at McDonald's. A shy, soft-spoken girl who had just moved to the city, she had taken this job to help her mother pay the bills after her father's passing. Her hands trembled as she put on her visor, hoping no one would notice how nervous she was. She wanted nothing more than to quietly learn her role, serve customers with a smile, and disappear without drawing any attention to herself. But fate had other plans. At a corner booth sat 5 teenagers who thought they owned the world. They were regulars, notorious for making trouble, and today they spotted Emma, the shy new worker fumbling behind the counter. One of them whispered, and the rest burst into laughter, their eyes fixed on her like predators circling prey. Emma tried to ignore them, focusing on filling a tray with cheeseburgers and fries. But when she walked past their table to deliver an order, one of the boys stuck out his leg, making her stumble. The tray crashed to the floor, food scattering everywhere, ketchup splattering on her uniform. The bullies howled with laughter, their voices echoing across the restaurant. Emma froze, her face burning red, humiliation knotting in her throat. Customers glanced over, some pitying, some annoyed, but no one said a word. Emma bent down to clean the mess, blinking back tears. She heard one of the girls from the group sneer, "Maybe McDonald's isn't hiring for clowns, sweetie. Try the circus instead." The others laughed again, and the sting of their words pierced her fragile confidence. She wanted to run, to quit on the spot, but she thought of her mother working double shifts at a hospital just to keep the lights on. She couldn't quit. She wouldn't quit. So, she swallowed her pain, picked up the food, and whispered an apology to the customer, even though none of it had been her fault. The bullies weren't done. They started mocking her accent, imitating her shaky voice whenever she asked, "Would you like fries with that?" Every time she passed their table, they snickered louder, tossing napkins on the floor just to watch her pick them up. Emma kept her head down, but inside, a storm was building. She wasn't just shy, she was broken from years of being overlooked, underestimated, and pushed aside. But deep within her was a quiet strength no one had seen yet. The breaking point came when one of the boys deliberately spilled a large soda on the counter, watching it pour down like a waterfall. As Emma scrambled to grab paper towels, he leaned close and whispered, "You don't belong here. People like you never do." Emma froze, her heart pounding. She could take the laughter. She could take the teasing. But that line. The cruel suggestion that she didn't belong anywhere, cut into the deepest wound she carried since losing her father. For a moment, her eyes well. The lunchtime rush at McDonald's was always chaotic, orders stacking up, the fryer hissing, kids crying for Happy Meals, but for Emma, the noise was overwhelming. It was her very first day, and every sound seemed magnified, every movement felt clumsy. She had always been the quiet type, the one who blended into the background, and after moving to this new city with her mother, the thought of standing in front of strangers felt like a mountain she couldn't climb. But she had no choice. Her mother was already working double shifts at the hospital, and with bills piling up since her father's death, Emma had to do her part. This job was supposed to help, not break, her. She rehearsed lines in her head, "Hello, welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you?" But when a customer finally stepped forward, her voice came out shaky. She smiled nervously, her hands fumbling with the register. The men gave a patient nod, but behind him, a group of 5 teenagers watched her every move with smirks spreading across their faces. They were regulars, troublemakers who thrived on chaos, and today they had found a new target. At first, it was just whispers. They mimicked her timid voice, copying the way she nervously tucked her hair behind her ear. But as Emma carried a tray past their booth, one of the boys stretched out his leg. She stumbled, and in a horrifying second, the tray flew out of her hands. Burgers, fries, and sodas crashed to the floor, splattering everywhere. The restaurant went silent, then erupted with laughter, not from everyone, but from the group of 5 who clapped and jeered. Emma's face flushed bright red as she bent to clean the mess, her hands trembling. "Look at her," one of the girls sneered loudly. "They must have hired her from the circus." The bullies cackled, their laughter bouncing off the walls, and Emma's heart sank deeper with every sound. The manager rushed over to help, whispering, "It's okay, accidents happen," but Emma could feel the humiliation burning through her. She wanted to disappear. Still, she forced herself to stand, wipe her hands, and keep working. She thought of her mother, exhausted, smiling through pain, and reminded herself why she couldn't quit. But the torment continued. Each time Emma walked by, the teens made animal noises, whispered cruel names, or tossed napkins and wrappers onto the floor just to watch her pick them up. The cruelest moment came when one boy ordered an ice cream cone, then deliberately smashed it against the counter as she handed it over. Vanilla dripped down the sides, pooling onto the floor. Emma scrambled to clean it, her chest tightening. The boy leaned close and hissed, "You don't belong here. People like you never do." That sentence hit her like a knife. For months, she had been battling the quiet grief of losing her father, the loneliness of starting over in a new city, and the constant fear of being not enough. His words weren't just bullying, they echoed every doubt she had whispered to H.